In this video, I want to talk about 4 skills autistic husbands can learn to repair the relationship. Now, let me start by saying something very clear here. If you are an autistic partner watching this and you're asking, well, what do I do to help? Okay, that already tells me something important about you. It tells me you care, it tells me you're trying, and it tells me you probably feel overwhelmed, confused, and tired of being told you're the problem without being shown how to be part of the solution. So today, I'm not talking about autistic husbands, I'm talking to autistic husbands. This video is about practical skills you can learn, practice, and implement, skills that don't require you to become someone else, but do require you to become more intentional. Here's the reality most couples don't say out loud. Your neurotypical partner is not asking you to feel things the same way she does. She's asking you to show up in ways that help her nervous system feel safe again. And here's the part that matters. Love alone does not repair relational damage. Insight alone does not repair relational damage. Intentions alone do not repair relational damage. Skills do. So let's talk about the 4 skills autistic husbands can learn that makes a real difference. Not perfect, not constant, but consistent enough to change the emotional climate of the marriage. Skill number 1, emotional validation without fixing. This is the skill most autistic husbands misunderstand and the one that hurts relationships the most when it's missing. Validation does not mean agreement. It does not mean you caused the feeling, and it does not mean you're wrong. Validation simply means I recognize that your emotional experience is real, and here's the formula. Write it down. Name, acknowledge, and pause. Instead of, I don't see it that way, or that wasn't my intention, or you're overreacting, try, I can see that this really hurts you. That sounds overwhelming. I didn't realize it landed that way. Then, and this is important, pause. No explanation, no defense, no logic. Your NT partner's nervous system does not calm down from information. It calms down from being seen. If this feels fake at first, that's okay. Skills feel mechanical before they feel natural. Practice it anyway. Skill number 2, asking clarifying questions instead of withdrawing. Many autistic husbands shut down, not because they don't care, but because their processing system is overloaded. But here's the problem. Silence feels neutral to you, but to your NT partner, silence feels like abandonment. So instead of disappearing or shutting down, you need bridging language. Here's some phrases you can memorize and use even when you're overwhelmed. I want to understand, but I need help knowing what matters most right now. Or can you tell me what you need from me in this moment? Listening or problem solving? Or I'm getting flooded right now, but I'm not leaving the conversation. Clarifying questions do 2 things. They slow the emotional escalation, and they signal engagement instead of avoidance. You don't need the perfect question. You need any question that keeps you relationally present. Skill number 3, managing meltdown without disappearing. Now, shutdown is real, and it's neurological, and it's not a character flaw. But unmanaged shutdown does damage relationships. So here's the responsibility piece. You don't control whether you shut down. You do control whether you disappear without explanation. A regulated pause sounds like this, okay? I'm shutting down and need 20 minutes or so. I will be back at 7:30. Or my system is overloaded. I'm not ignoring you. I just need a reset. And then, and this part is critical, you come back when you said you would. Coming back builds trust, not shutting down. If you never return, your NT partner learns connection is unsafe. I'm all alone. If you return consistently, her nervous system learns he can leave and still come back. That's repair. Skill number 4, taking ownership without self-attack. Many autistic husbands hear, take responsibility, as admit you're broken. That's not what this means. Ownership sounds like, I see the pattern now. I didn't realize how that impacted you. I'm working on this, and I know it takes time. So here you're noticing what's missing. No shame spiral, no self-hatred, no collapse. Self-attack doesn't help your NT partner heal. It actually makes her regulate you. So ownership is calm, steady, and forward-looking. Now, your role in the relationship is not to become neurotypical. Your role is to become intentional, accountable, and skill-based. You don't have to feel emotions the same way. You do have to respond to emotions responsibly, though. If you learn these 4 skills, validation, clarification, regulated pauses, and ownership, you will do more for your relationship than years of explanations ever did. And to the autistic husbands watching this, you are not hopeless. You're not defective or flawed. No. But growth is your responsibility. Now, if this helped, share it with your NT partner, not as proof, but as invitation. And if you want more videos specifically for autistic husbands, let me know in the comments. You're not alone, but repair requires participation. I'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, this is Mark, and I have a message to the husbands out there on the autism spectrum. My heart really goes out to you guys because I know you may have been blamed by your NT spouse for being insensitive, selfish, uncaring, narcissistic, sociopathic, and what else. She has made a bunch of false assumptions, but this may be due to the fact that she doesn't fully understand autism spectrum disorder. She's not really sure what she's dealing with. If you have ASD level 1, you will have some degree of mind blindness, not your fault. And your neurotypical wife may blame you for being stubborn and rigid and simply not caring about or understanding her perspectives. If you have ASD, then you have some level of emotions blindness, not your fault. And your NT wife has probably blamed you for being selfish and simply not caring about or understanding how she feels. If you have ASD, you will have some executive function deficits. You're not going to have all of them, but you're going to have more than one. And there are many executive functions. But to use the working memory deficit as an example, your NT wife may have blamed you for simply not caring about what she asked you to do, when in fact it's difficult for you to remember some of those things. Now, we're not looking for excuses here. And we're not looking to get a pass for perceived callous behavior. We are looking to begin the process of developing some emotional literacy and social skills so that you can connect with your spouse in a way that she will value and appreciate. In this men's masterclass, we'll be discussing ways to improve your social skills as well as your emotional literacy. The social brain is responsible for many things. For example, deciding whether a social signal really matters, like facial expression, deciphering prosody, which is the additional tones and ways that people add layers of meaning to their spoken words. The emotional brain is responsible for numerous things. For example, emotional self-awareness. When your body gives you physical signals that something is wrong, do you pay attention to it and sense what's going on? Another thing that the emotional brain is responsible for is empathy. Do you really listen to people when they talk about their issues, or do you just try to give them a solution? Now, the goal here is not to make you more neurotypical. There's nothing wrong with you, and you don't need to be fixed. Having said that, though, you can learn several ways to adapt to the neurotypical world with the larger goal of reducing your relationship stress. Anxiety reduction is the paramount objective in this workshop. Without a significant reduction in anxiety, social encounters that are loaded with social and emotional nuances will be nearly impossible to navigate. Most couples in a neurodiverse marriage are chronically in a stage I call resistance. For example, both spouses realize that they rarely live up to each other's expectations. Now, in order to turn this around, there will need to be a new and improved stage I call discovery. Here, both parties will need to learn more about each other's strengths and weaknesses, and they will need to learn to identify and talk about their fears instead of acting them out. We will accomplish this and much, much more in this masterclass. Have you been told you're destined to be emotionally illiterate? You're destined to have social skills deficits? That's a myth. You've been lied to. Don't miss out on this class. I can promise you, you have everything to gain. The link will be below.